Hello everyone, Gamer Mixer 17 here, bringing you once again you went no, let's restart that. My intro was horrible. Alright, so here's where I'll begin. Alright, and hello dudes and dudettes, this is your favorite reject here, Gamer Mixer 17. I am bringing you once again another video. Now, this is basically kind of like last time, you know, with the whole potions brewing, except this time it's gonna be Rails. I am your conductor mixer, and I will begin to teach you how to basically understand more about these Rails, because not everyone understands how these things work. So let me get rid of that. Now then, first of all, obviously you're gonna need to know the crafting recipes. So I've basically made the crafting recipes for each and every single one of them, and I got my ingredients. So let me just snag all these. So the most easiest one is obviously the normal rail. It's as simple as 6 iron on the side and 1 stick. Put this down and you get 16 in total. Now then, the next one that I'll be doing is the powered rail. Has that type of crafting recipe of 6 gold, which ain't exactly the most cheapest one compared to the rail, so I wouldn't always advise using powered rails constantly, but hey, to each their own, doesn't really matter. Next up will be the dang it, I always get this one wrong, but it's not the activator rail, the pressure plate rail. There we go. And basically all it consists is the same type of crafting recipe for the rail, but with a pressure plate. Whoops, I think I missed something. Oops, my bad. This is something I always get wrong. There we go. That's what I did wrong. So my bad. It is actually no sticks. Instead, replace the stick with a stone pressure plate and a redstone on the bottom, and you get yourself an detector rail. Sorry about that. And lastly is the activator rail. Now this one is, I'd say it's the second cheapest probably out of all 4 rails, but that could be heavily debated between that and the director rail. My apologies. And basically it consists of 6 iron, 2 sticks, and 1 redstone torch. Now, other than the normal rails, which gives you a stack of only 16, the other 3 will only give you a stack of 6. So yeah, they're not exactly the most cheapest of items if you're going to use a lot of these constantly, especially the power rails. So I have a normal rail system right here, and as you can clearly tell, it's looking very bland. So let's fix that, shall we? I'm gonna go ahead and snag these as well. Now obviously, in order for rails to even matter, you're gonna need carts. And basically it's kind of like the crafting recipe for the helmets, except back upside down. There we go. I'm going to create 4 of these because there are 4 different types of mine carts. There's a normal minecart, a minecart with a hopper, a minecart with a furnace, and a minecart with TNT, and I forgot one other one. There's actually 4 other minecarts other than the normal minecart, and the last one being a minecart with a chest. So the minecart really is just normal minecart. You can hop into it, you can hop out of it. The minecart with the hopper is basically just a normal minecart, but with a hopper on it that allows you to pick up items in case you want to do any of those automated farms or sometimes furnaces, depending on what type of redstone furnace, automatic, semi-automatic furnace. I can't really go into full detail without going too much into actually creating the thing, so basically it's just a normal hopper which picks up items but on a track. The minecart with a furnace, oh, whoops. Oh, come on. Alright, well, whatever. Basically, it just, allows you to kind of just push it around and stuff. It should have allowed me to activate it, but oh well, whatever. Minecart with the TNT acts more of a trap of some sort. You can use this, throw it on a rail, and if it's activated, it'll blow up, obviously, because it's TNT. And the minecart with a chest is basically a normal chest, nothing too much of a craziness or whatever. That'll allow you to pick up items, not pick up items, but to store items in case you're ever in a minecart system that requires you to have multiple items. So, kind of useful in the sense of mining situations. Other than that, I can't really think of much. So, I have this really long rail track that I have this pattern here that keeps up with the pattern of every black block is 5. So I have tested it out with a single, how'd you put it, a single run, and that is doing absolutely nothing but just letting it take control. And it has reached up to a maximum of 81 blocks within roughly 57 seconds. So in this type of situation, this is only when you really want to be very conservative with the powered rails, and only if you're going to go AFK, because frankly I would not want to wait almost a minute to reach every single powered rail. So I would not advise this unless you're going AFK, and this would be perfect because if it was long distance. Next up is just to not forget how much you've already put down, which is basically the full stack of rails. You just constantly put down rails up until a stack ends, and you could put down a powered rail or some type of system that's going to allow your cart to go continuously. I'll just give you an example of that in a little bit. Next up would be if you want it to be a little bit more efficient and less time consuming, which is every 20 blocks. So put a powered rail or something to activate the power rail, and it's just going to be constant, a little faster, and just better in my opinion. Of course it's going to be expensive, so keep in mind of what these crafting recipes are. And this is my personal choice, but you don't have to take it for anything whatsoever, and that's to go every 15 blocks. Only because, well, I don't know, it's just a little better for me. And lastly, if you have the resources and you're practically the richest person ever and stuff, or you have something that, like a duplication glitch, you can just do a continuous powered rail and have some form of power sources constantly. Although, I wouldn't advise this one. I'm not going to do it because I'd rather not waste time, so yeah. Although what I will do is, as you clearly saw, you can just push it and it'll slowly give you a boost. But, if you hold down the forward button or control stick, whatever, it'll just allow you to go at this pace constantly. Sure, it will decrease, but you can just continuously go for infinite in a way. So yeah, let's get rid of that. Now then, I have these other systems right here that I want to show you all, and that is these. So obviously with the powered rails, you flick it, it'll go, and it'll speed up the thing. Now if these powered rails to be ever off, it'll do an automatic stop until turned on and push or whatever. Now these ones are more recommended if you don't want to use, side blocks such as redstone torches. The reason why is because some people would rather not have to do this constantly. But, it's your own opinion. And basically what this will do is these detectors act as a redstone source, activate this, which then pushes your cart to go a little faster. Next up will be, of course, the powered rails continuously, which is just a continuous speed that will go non-stop. Now, I have done my little bit of math, and from the starting point of the redstone torch, not including the actual block, but instead continuously afterwards, is 8 blocks. So this thing has a span of has a span of 17 blocks, which frankly isn't that bad, but it's not all that great either. This one is the activated power rails. Now this one can get a little confusing for anyone who doesn't understand this thing whatsoever, and basically it's a little more simpler and a little bit more complex, because it acts like a powered rail, and at the same time it also acts like the detector. Now the only difference, however, is how this thing actually functions. Now if I were to grab this and place it here, obviously it's a redstone power source and it will activate this. However, if I use a powered rail and put this on near it, it won't do anything. I put it at the end, it won't do anything. I put it on top, it won't do anything. If I were to put it on here, it's not going to do anything. Here, on top, nothing whatsoever. So it's not going to act like the detector for anything like that. But what it will do is, for a normal minecart, it will make it really wonky. And this is when it's turned on. When it's turned off, it will not do that, and instead it will act like a normal rail. Now if I had this thing on for, let's say, a hopper, which is one of the 2 minecarts that will work continuously no matter what, this will in fact allow the hopper to pick everything up. If I push this right now, wait, I did? This is a hopper, right? Oh, whoops, my bad. So it's backwarks. If this thing is turned off, such as no lighting whatsoever, it will allow the hopper to pick everything up. Now, if it's turned on, as you clearly saw, it will not allow the hopper to pick up anything whatsoever, which is kind of useful for only those who are using a farm. So I wouldn't advise everyone to use this unless you're doing something like that. Now, obviously, TNT. Now, when it comes to this, when it's turned off, it won't do anything, so it's the complete opposite of the hopper. But if it's turned on, it will activate and explode. Now, another unique feature is that when there's an explosion near the tracks, it will not blow up the tracks whatsoever, but instead the ground around it. It will blow up anything else, such as power sources like this, but if it's just the tracks, no. Those things are kind of invincible in the sense of explosions. Now then, the last thing I want to show before I end this video is another unique feature about the mine tracks. Rails, sorry. And that is, if you have rails and some form of source like this or something, really, I don't know if you can do it with redstone, and you have a track like this and then a crossing section such as this, you could have a lever right here and you could flip it to change the direction. You could also do it with the button, except the only difference is that it's going to do that, obviously. So wouldn't really advise it unless you need to. Now redstone, you can. Redstone will absolutely work as well. And you could also use a bunch of redstone techniques to activate it itself, or, you know, from a long distance or whatever. It's up to you entirely. Now, this is probably a short episode, so yeah, there wasn't really much to go over with tracks, but you know what, I just wanted to give out a little bit more information, because not everyone knows or understands how tracks work. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy the new year, even though it's already been like 10 days since the New Year's begins. So I hope you all enjoy it. Have a good day.